Okay, class, sorry about the delay there. We're going to do a short video on quadratics for right now. So, we'll give you some review of quadratic things. This is, from Algebra 2, pre-calculus, and now again we'll do it one more time here to make sure that we have a good idea. Hopefully you just finished the opener and you realized that we have the quadratic equation right here. Some books call this a vertex form, others call it standard. I think your same author uses both. And so I think they're calling this the standard form. But this basically tells you the vertex of it. And so if we have it in this form, y equals a times the quantity of x minus h squared plus k, that should tell us what the vertex is. That's what you were doing before. Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, I'm going to tell you a vertex and a point and see if you can come up with the equation for it. So we'll use the fact that we know the vertex there, and we'll put it into this equation and say y equals, I don't know the a, squared plus that k, but because I know this, I know that the vertex is at 2, negative 1. That's 2, and that's a negative 1. Okay? And then, so I have the first part of this. The second part, I'm going to use the fact that I know that I have this point, that when x is 4, y is negative 7, and we're going to go ahead and plug that in to figure out if there's anything else we don't know. Well, when x is 4, the y value is 7. And as you can see, there's only one variable that we haven't solved for yet. So we go ahead and take 4 minus 2 and get 2. We square that, we get 4. So 4a plus negative 1 is 7. We add 1. 8 is 4a. And how convenient that the a is 8 divided by 4. In other words, 2. Okay? What did that tell me? If I go back to this equation before I put this in, that tells me that y equals 2 times the quantity of x minus 2, the quantity squared, plus negative 1, is the equation in that form. Now, that what I call vertex form. Standard form would just be foiling this out. Usually they use standard, but any old quadratic would look like this, and you just square that quantity, multiply it by 2, and add negative 1, and clean that up to get y equals, let's see, it'd be 2x squared minus 4x, so that's minus 8x plus 4 is plus 8 minus 1, and so in that form it would be y equals 2x squared minus 8x plus 7. Okay? So that's how we can convert between those two. The next thing for quadratics is we talk about here, what if I know the x-intercepts and I want to get some equation for this? So can we find a function here, well, let's call it g of x, they'll call it h of x then, that will have these intercepts and do this. And I think we can if we remember that these x-intercepts are points, negative 1, 0, and 3, 0, where the x value is that x, either 3 or negative 1, then the y value becomes 0. Remember that, the product of two things being 0, I can have a times this quantity of x plus 1, and this x minus 3. That's a very important concept, that we can go from this intercept form and make it into a factor of x minus 3. If the intercept is at 3, 0, that means that x minus 3 is a factor of that. And if there's negative 1, then likewise x plus 1 is a factor. And here we have an equation. If I want this one that's going to open up, I simply make a be positive. If I want it to open down, I simply make a be negative. So, if it's going to go down, let's call it negative 7. In this case, the book's going to ask you just to find some equation that would work. Now, you could FOIL this out, multiply it by 7, and you'd get it back into this form down here. All right? And then the last thing for these quadratics, as a reminder, would be that what happens if I give you g of x over here is 2x squared plus 6x minus 20, and I want to know something like, are there any x-intercepts? Well, x-intercepts happen when this value is 0, so I'd be asking you, when does 0 equal 2x squared plus 6x minus 20? So when does 0 equal 2 times the quantity of x squared plus 3x minus 10? I think I can factor that to x plus 5 and x minus 2. And here's my quantities there. That happens when x plus 5 is 0 or x minus 2 is 0. So that's when x is negative 5. And that's when x is 2. So our intercepts are at negative 5, 0. They're x-intercepts, right? And at 2, 0. Remember, the y-intercept then is just plug in 0 to the function. So if I want to know the y-intercept of this, we just want to find g of 0. We plug in 0 and we get 2 times 0 squared plus 6 times 0 minus 20. The value of the function at 0 is 20 is negative 20. So that's my y-intercept, 0, negative 20. Likewise down here, the y-intercept would be at 0, 7. And this one over here, plug in 0, we get 1 times negative 3. What is that? That's negative 3. Negative 3 times our a value of negative 7, 0, 21. So to find the y-intercept, you just plug those in. That's a quick review of some of the quadratics. Hopefully that brought back some memories, and that part's easy for you.